Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my wrap up for the month of July. This was my birthday month. Girl's finally 18. I didn't read as much as last month and I've actually found myself in a reading slump right now. I'm trying to read Cress from the Lunar Chronicles, but it's not going too well. For some reason I just keep putting it down and watching law-based shows. Because, you know, your girl just loves the whole police and the law and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, so I'm trying to get out my reading slump, but I'm going to share with you the books that I've read this month. So the first book I read this month was Lily Alone by Jacqueline Wilson. I picked this up in Asda for £4 because it was on, you know, reduced. And this book is basically about a girl called Lily, and she has 3 younger siblings and they live with their mum. She's a single mum, and one day Lily convinces her to get back out there. You know, her husband died I think like a few months prior to this, and she's like, you know, get back out there, go out for a drink, meet your friends. So she leaves Lily and her younger siblings alone in the house while she goes out and meets up with her friend. But she ends up meeting this guy who is far younger than she is. He's like 19, and she ends up going to Spain with him for a short holiday, and Lily is left alone with her 3 siblings for a whole week. Now the mum thinks that her ex-husband, I think, which is 2 of the siblings' dad, has come and looked after the children. However, Lily doesn't like him and she tells the mum that everything's fine, he's looking after us. However, he isn't. So they're all left alone, left to fend for themselves, and they end up going to a park where they camp. Now that's all I'm going to give you, because if you want to read this book then it's not good that I spoil it. But I really do love this story. It's not the first time I've read it. It's one of my favourite Jacqueline Wilson books. It talks a lot about child neglect and feeling alone, all that kind of stuff. You can see, like Lily Alone. And yeah, I just really love this book. So if you haven't read it and you're into Jacqueline Wilson, then definitely pick this up, because it's a really cute story and it's definitely worth the read. The second book I read this month was Scarlet, the second Lunar Chronicles book, and I have to say I enjoyed this far better than Cinder. I literally fell in love with Cinder more in this book, but I really enjoyed it. So this is a Snow White retelling. Snow White? Nah, that's winter. This is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and basically Scarlet's grandmother's been kidnapped, and the police are closing her case and kind of, you know, stop looking for her. And Scarlet kind of like sets off on a journey to find her grandmother, only to find that she's been held captive by people that are working for Queen Lavanna, I think. So yeah, Cinder's in this story. She's still on the run, she's still a fugitive, she's still alive, which is great. And basically she teams up with Scarlet, and that's kind of where Cress begins. If you haven't, I should probably put a spoiler alert in my editing. That's all I can really give you, but it's a really good book and I'm really thoroughly enjoying this series. I'd have to say it's one of the best series that I've ever read. So surprise, surprise, I actually picked up the second Pretty Little Liars book, which is called Flawless. Oh yeah, Flawless. And this talks a lot about how Hannah sees herself and how insecure she is. Talks a lot about her eating disorder, so if you're triggered by ED or anything like that, then I really don't recommend this whole series in general, to be honest. As it talks a lot about making yourself sick and all that kind of stuff. So yes, and Spencer and Ren are still at it in this book. Emily's still battling with her feelings for Maya. Toby is coming and he's, you know, befriending the girls. And yeah, it's basically it. So I'm really excited to read the other books in this series, because again, it is very different from the actual show. Okay, so the final books, actually wait, okay, not the final books. I also read Windfall this month, which, guys, why is this hyped? Like, it's so overhyped. I just hate the trope of, you know, girl falls in love with her fuckboy best friend. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the characters, and I didn't like the book in general. So, it's overhyped, but if you don't know what Windfall is, it's basically about a girl called Alice and her friend Teddy, and she's in love with him, and she buys him a lottery ticket, which ends up being the winning lottery ticket, and it's her story of kind of, yeah, I didn't like it. So I actually got through a whole series, which was a trilogy, and it is the Spinster Club books. I only have 2 of them with me because they're my best friend's books. Probably gonna pick up these for myself because I'll probably read them again, but yeah, the one that she has is the first book in the series, called Am I Normal Yet?, which focuses on Evie, who has a OCD, and she's in recovery, so we get a lot of her recovery diaries and her having bad thoughts. I really love how this book's structured, because it has all of Evie's bad thoughts and then her trying to think, no, this isn't right, like, I've got to stick to recovery. And I just love that about this book. It also has the element of being scared of what your friends will think of you if they know about your mental issues. It's just really good and very, very accurate, very healthy, very relatable. It's not one of those books that glamorizes mental illness. Instead, it actually talks about it in a very real way, and talks about things that 13 Reasons Why or all of those overhyped shit things don't talk about. For example, Evie stayed off school for 8 whole weeks and never left her room. That is a common symptom of depression and mental health, and it's never really touched upon on most movies or in literature. They tend to glamorize it and make it cute, which is just so fucking disgusting. I hate it. But this book doesn't do that. It's very relatable, very real, and I really recommend you picking up the series, because it also talks about feminism. They have this club where they have weekly meetings and they talk about feminist issues in society. In the first book, one of the girls called Amber brings up periods and totally freaks out one of their guy friends, who was actually called Guy. I think it was Guy. There's also stuff about cheating in there, and also they call out how people and the media make mental illness into mainstream personality quirks. So I'm pretty sure you've heard a girl go, oh my god, I changed my mind, I have OCD, or, you know, something like that. Like, you've all heard someone say that. And yeah, the media really does turn really serious things into personality quirks, which is disgusting, because behind that illness is a person who actually suffers with it. That's not going, I'm so cute because of this illness. They're actually going, oh shit, like, my life is so meh because I have this illness, and it's horrible. I just hate the whole mainstream media. Yeah. The second book in the series is called How Hard Can Love Be? And this focuses on Amber, who is struggling with family problems. If family problems trigger you, then don't read this book. Or if you can relate to having family problems, then this book is the one that will make you feel less alone. So basically, Amber goes to a summer camp in America that her mum and her mum's boyfriend run, and she hasn't seen her mum in years. Her mum broke contact with her to just run away with this man. Her mum is also an alcoholic. Is the subject of alcoholic dealt properly. I'd say yes, because it's only really a subgenre in this book. It's not really talked about a lot, but it is there. Yeah, so Amber feels like she is unlovable. She's the odd one out. She's the femme of the group. She's got Evie and Lottie, who she idolizes and think they're better than her. Amber's ginger and tall, so she feels like she's like freaky and weird. But a guy called Kyle, so Amber meets a guy called Kyle who changes her perspective of herself, because he ends up really liking her, and it's the first time Amber's had male attention or someone really appreciate her as a person. I personally love the character of Amber, so I was really appreciative of this book. The friendships and the bonds in these books are amazing. Like, I wish I had a friendship group like this, but I don't, but I really wish I did. Yeah, so there's still bits with Evie and Lottie in this book. They all video chat and have their weekly meetings, and Lottie kind of goes crazy over the American guys, you know. It's great. I love it. I loved this book. It's not my favourite of the three. I'd definitely say What's a Girl Got to Do is my first favourite, then it'd be Am I Normal Yet? And then it would be this one, but I'm not saying that I hate this book, because I love this book. And now we're on to my favourite book of the series. To end this video on a banger, What's a Girl Gotta Do? I'm sure most of you non-booktube people that may be watching this video will now understand why I put up that little skip video and the one of me dressing up with the fishnets. That was because of this book. I did my booktuber-a-thon challenges based around What's a Girl Gotta Do by Holly Bourne. Obviously, it's a series. This is Lottie's story. Now, Lottie's narrative and Lottie herself are my favourite things about this whole book series. I love Lottie. We are so similar. Like, I am Lottie, Lottie is me. I'm Lottie, Lottie is me. I am Lottie. No, let's stop. Stop, Charlie, just stop. So this book is basically about Lottie, and she gets sexually harassed on her way to college, which then sparks this anger inside of her, and she has this idea to call out all sexism she sees for a full month. Now, that included her having a big blowhorn where she would blow it really loudly and then just call out that person on what they've said. So this book deals with a lot of feminism that I agree with. There's stuff about how girls' products are pink and way more expensive than boy products. Tampons are a luxury. These are ibuprofen, I think it was ibuprofen or something. Anyway, these tablets that were to help you deal with your period were essentially ibuprofen in a pink box, and they were more expensive just because they were for periods. This is just Lottie's journey with dealing with the sexism in society, in her college, and also trying to get into Cambridge. I love this book. I will be talking more about this series in my upcoming reviews, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next week.